Hey, Dan, it's Rob.
Hello.
You are on the Metal Injection Livecast. I'm here with Noah.
Hello.
Sid.
Hey.
And Darren. He's not talking.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Dan, thank you for taking some time to talk to us. I know you got got a little band rehearsal, so we won't keep you too long. But, we were very excited to talk to you. We are 4 Brooklynites, and we feel, as far as the New York scene, you're a bit of a legend here. And I just want to get this out of the way. Give us some memories of Lemoore, the classic
we're right
Brooklyn venue.
Bay
We're right
Ridge.
by Lemoore, yeah. What are your thoughts on the venue? Do you have any good memories from there?
Yeah, Lemoore's. I have lots of good memories from there. That's where I first, even before I was playing, I was going to see bands there, like Venom and Concept and Voivod and, lots of, Slayer bands back in the day. And then when I got to the point where Nuclear Assault had a steady lineup, that is really where we got our footing, where we started playing a lot of shows and getting noticed by, not only just people in the metal scene, but also like labels, because it was cool living in New York because that's where Combat and Roadrunner were located. So Lemoore's definitely just was tremendously important for the New York metal scene. And it was a shame when it kind of they stopped doing it. I mean, I remember they switched the layout of the club, but it just wasn't the same anymore. It wasn't the glory days like in the 80s. But yeah, very fond memories of that, definitely.
Yeah, it turned into a dance club. Like, one part was metal and then the other part was Club Europa. Remember?
Right. No, yeah, I remember that. And I'm like, shit, I mean, I don't know if I could say that.
Yeah,
but,
go for it. Go for
You
it.
say whatever
being,
word you want.
Yeah, there were plenty of dance clubs already. I don't think that percentage-wise it made much sense. I mean, maybe for dollars and cents, but just out of, fairness to the metal scene, if anybody cared about that, then why would you want to take one of the only remaining metal clubs at the time and then make it 40% or whatever a dance club, and there's already millions of those? I guess just because then you could have more expensive drinks and whatever. Metalheads, they drank Budweiser.
They don't need fancy cocktails.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah,
No, I don't drink that no more. I'm a craft beer snob, but those were the days.
Oh, nice.
So, what made you get out of the city? I know you live in upstate New York now. Like, what made you relocate?
Oh, a certain young lady I met. My wife. Yeah, my wife's from Rochester, where I live now. And, I lived in the city. I grew up there. I lived there for 35 years. And it was just kind of a case of been there, done that. I mean, when I go back now, for instance, we're actually going down next weekend to visit my mom. Mm-hmm. And it's cool to go back and see my old friends. But,
you're over it.
It's just, it's just more mellow up here.
There's more room for all your equipment. You can have a room to jam in and stuff.
I was just curious, what neighborhood did you grow up in? You don't have to get too specific, but just what part of Brooklyn?
I'm actually from Queens.
Oh,
I don't
from
know
Queens.
if that's a big shocker.
Right.
Yeah, I'm from Bayside, Queens, so I don't know if you're going to know if I get specific, if I say Bell Boulevard and Northern Boulevard intersection where the White Castle is or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm from. I mean, I spent a lot of time in Brooklyn,
Right.
So driving back from Lemoore's and making sure I didn't have too many Budweisers or whatever. And and of course, Queens never, I mean, maybe now I think there's some metal clubs, but you had to go to the city or Brooklyn.
Yeah.
They had Lemoore East, which was kind of short-lived. But, no, I'm from one of the 5 boroughs anyway.
Yeah, it's all Long Island.
Guess what? They didn't finish construction. They didn't finish construction on the BQE just yet.
It's still going.
Well, that does not surprise me. And there's certain things I miss about New York, like the pizza and direct flights to Europe and everything, sure. But, that kind of thing. Here in Rochester, rush hour means you got to slow down to 20. You know, nobody's going to shoot each other because you're on the BQE for an hour and a half or something. It's just a smaller town. It's still big. It's still got a skyline and it's got Xerox, Kodak, and all that stuff. But, you know, it's just... And, of course, it snows a hell of a lot more. And they know how to deal with that, so...
How's the music scene there?
It's pretty strong. Rochester has a bottomless pit of crazy talented guitar players, that's for one thing. I can only vouch for the extreme metal scene, which I'm a part of, playing in 2 different bands, and that is nice and healthy. So you got some good venues here. Nothing that... There's one bigger place called the Montage, but mostly I'm at either the Bug Jar or a place called Monty's Crown, which is really small, but it's just perfect. It just works. You can't fit everybody on stage. Who gives a shit, you know? So, yeah, I would say it's a pretty good scene. Lots of good bands. And, yeah, I enjoy it immensely.
Cool. A few years ago, actually, like when Brutal Truth was kind of winding down, you posted a statement saying that you were retiring from the metal life. But it's
you
very
can't really retire.
Yeah, it's very clear that you're still remaining pretty active, of course, with Venomous Concept with your other bands. Like, did you just mean like you just weren't? It wasn't going to be like a full-time thing for you. Like you wanted to just stay in Rochester as much as possible.
Yeah, mostly. I tried to phrase it carefully that I wasn't completely retiring. What I was doing was trying to just not make it as much of an obligation and a day job anymore as I grew older. Mm-hmm. I wanted to play music, you know, at the pace I wanted to play it. And Brutal Truth was the only band I was still in that was still kind of in the cycle where write, record, tour, etc. And also at that time, you know, certain dudes in the band, when people were having kids, they were putting limitations on their time, which made it really hard to do stuff anyway. So just a bunch of different reasons, it just made sense. But I didn't want to tell those guys, I don't want to do this anymore. So I decided to be more diplomatic and go, look, I'm just going to semi-retire. But now I regret it because now I'm still doing lots of stuff. And you got cynical Germans going, oh, but Danny, I thought you were retiring, but you are here. So,
well, we should...
I get that. And go ahead.
I was going to say we should let our listeners know that you have a biography out called Perpetual Conversion, and where you talk about 30 years of your career. And I guess what a lot of people don't understand about touring is that there's a lot of downtime, and you know, just like traveling from place to place can get a little bit like ominous. So what I always wonder is, for someone who goes all the way back like 30 years, what was tour life back then without Skype and without internet, and how are you keeping busy?
Well, yeah, things were different back then. I mean, without cell phones and the internet, you actually had to like pull over about an hour outside of town and call the club or the promoter and go, all right, dude, we're in Indiana at X30, so we're about an hour from Chicago. Can you just tell us how to get to your club? And stuff like that. And then, yeah, as far as downtime, well, that's kind of funny because now when you walk backstage at a metal show, you know, the whole joke is you think it's going to be, you know,
chicks,
dudes partying,
drugs.
Yeah, chicks and it's all that. And it's just a bunch of dudes staring at their phones. It's funny.
Can
you know, you kind of walk back, you know, huh?
No, I was going to say, can you recall any like crazy like backstage moment from when other things were happening? Again.
Well, I mean, there were periods of excess back then, especially when I was a single man, but nothing too excessive in that. You got to remember, we were playing extreme metal. This wasn't hair metal, which is all about the chicks and all that, you know?
Yes.
I mean, craziest stuff, you go back, you know, we backstage at one of our shows back then, it was, I don't know, just lame shit, like fogging out the room and smoke and having the guy walk back, waving his arms, going, oh, Jesus, you guys can't do this in here. What are you doing? And, you know, just things like that. Of course, yeah, it's still more exciting than watching a bunch of dudes stare at their phones. But, you know, that's funny because he used to get backstage and go, "Where's the beer?" And now everybody's like, "What's the Wi-Fi?"
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Yeah.
That's great. I do also love in your book, you talked about hanging out with Fenriz in Oslo and dropping acid, and how he lived with his mother, and then his mom would pop in and be like, "Do you guys want some waffles?" I thought that was a very...
Waffles are real big there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want waffles there. Yeah, just the thought of seeing a bunch of gelatinous jelly on top of waffles when you're peeking on mushrooms was a little unsettling. So neither of us wanted waffles. We were happy. We had beer, and he was playing a bunch of trance techno, I think. I kept bugging him, telling him to play this one Darkthrone record, and he would say no. And then he would do something random, like put on the Crumbsuckers. And I'd be like, where the hell did that come from? But, yeah, that was a fun day. Yeah, that was in the suburbs of Oslo, actually, in a town called Ski, just like skiing. And, yeah, it was just a fun memory. And I know people think, oh, those guys in the black metal scene, you know, they're maniacs walking around scowling all the time. But he's a pretty fun dude. You know, he'll sit there. And one time when I walked into a bar there to meet up with him, might even have been that day, I think he was had his Walkman on and was listening to Anti Dice Spray and just sitting there laughing. Nobody else knew why.
Wow.
So,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Cool.
Those people I know, they have reputations of being, what you call evil all the time, but I can assure you they're not.
Yeah, and let's talk about Venomous Concept. I love this group. It's sort of like a super group, and you basically can't escape Kevin Sharp. I
know.
Brutal Truth kind of is on hiatus now, and then he hopped on to Venomous Concept, and now you guys are working together in that. And you know, I think it's really cool. Obviously, all of you guys are professionals. You've been around the block. Is it easy getting together, writing songs with a bunch of guys who know what they're doing?
Oh yeah, I mean, some of the stuff. You got to remember, we haven't put out a record for like 8 years, so some of the riffs on here are actually quite old. Mm-hmm. When Brutal Truth started doing stuff again, we toured the UK in 2007, and I think I ended up staying a few days after that, just staying with Shane and Danny and writing stuff. And then that was a long time ago, and I forgot about it. And then finally, when we were starting to do a new record a few years back, we didn't actually get together like internationally. I was just, I wrote a couple of more songs at home because I have, you know, on my Mac here, I can demo stuff. I can program drums too, realistically enough, so I can send people a completed instrumental MP3 going, here's something I got. If you like it, I'll show you what the chords are. But, yeah, I mean, we're all old veteran bastards of this scene, and we know what we're doing, and when it's time to make a record, we don't all have to sit in the same room if that's not logistically simple, which, of course, when you have an international band, that could be a problem. But, yeah, as far as Kevin... Yeah, I mean, that's cool playing with him again. The Venomous Concept is also a different animal than Brutal Truth. It's not crazy, technical, insane grindcore. So it's easier to play. The joke is you could start drinking earlier in the day. And, yeah, it's just fun stuff. And like I said, compared to Brutal Truth, I mean, I could play it like I could just daydream while I'm playing. Like, I wonder if I could get a kebab after the show. I wonder when that place closes across the street from the hotel. And then I'm like, oh, shit, song's over. Yeah.
So did you guys record it separately? You kind of alluded to this a few moments ago, but or were you guys not together when recording this?
Most of the guys recorded together because most of the other instrumentalists are all British. Mm-hmm. Or Danny's not British, but lives in England. Mm. So I think they went and put some drums and guitars down, and then I just think, I don't remember why I ended up just doing it at home. It just might have been to save money, or they, you know, the producer Russ knew he could trust me. Because when you do the tracks at home, I have to make sure not just playing all the notes right, but making sure the level's good. There's something called signal to noise ratio. I'm not going to get geeky with you, but basically meaning that you have to make sure that when you send those WAV files over there, which is, whatever, a Windows audio file, that it's all on the up and up and they can work with them, just like you would just stood right there and tracked it and walked out of the room. But yeah, for one reason or another, it just made more sense for me to track it home, and I know what I'm doing, and those guys know what they're doing. And I had to trust them to put a good distorted bass tone on it, because I could have gone two directions there. I could have just played it clean, or I could have said, fuck this, I'm going to choose what I want it to sound like, and you're going to have to mix it like that. But I trust Russ Russell, the producer, a whole bunch. So I said, okay, make my bass sound good, dude. I'll probably put that in facts, So, yeah, it's a matter of just experience, as she pointed out. Nobody's 20 years old here. We all know what the hell we're doing.
Right, and it's also good to work with people who have that experience, because then you can give each other constructive feedback, and there's no like blowouts or anything like that. It's all just like a cohesive, personal, and professional relationship.
Well, yeah, we're all adults in the room, and sure, if I would have sent something over and anybody had said, well, I don't know, man, I think you could have played that better, I wouldn't be like, oh, come on, man, WTF, blah, blah, blah. I just would have said, fine.
You're not going to get into a Twitter war, right?
Oh, I don't even have that, yeah. There's no Twitter, there's no Facebook, there's no Instagram. If you want to talk to me, it's email or text. Yeah, I'm not really a social network type guy. I really don't care if somebody's having Chinese food or pizza for dinner and anything like that.
I am actually having Chinese food for dinner.
Definitely don't read Rob's any of his social media, because that's all he posts.
I don't tweet about food. No, that's not true. But I have a serious question now. Where did you smoke the best weed?
Oh, good one.
Who has the best? Where is this dealer? Sorry,
I'm going to have to. That'll be a close call, but probably Vancouver. Yeah, I could have said Amsterdam and been typical or something, but no, those DC Buds was the first place I ever tried hot knives. I think Napalm and Brutal played there in '93, and there was a dude who lived about 4 blocks away and said, "Hey, dude, come over." And I said, okay. And then staggered back about an hour later, and I remember Kevin was standing outside hanging out with some kids, and he saw me walk up, and he took one look at me and just started rolling his eyes and laughing, going, "What have you been up to, Dan?" And I'm like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just thirsty," and just walked by him. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Vancouver, so just in the air for them.
All right,
that also explains why Blasphemy sounds like what they do. Yeah.
I have a question for you. And you grew up in Queens, right? The Bayside.
Yeah.
Are you a New York Mets fan?
When I cared about baseball, which I really don't as much anymore, then yes, I was. I went to Met games.
Awesome.
I went with my family when I was a kid. Later, as a teenager, I went with my friends, and we sat up in the cheap seats and smoked weed. And
same.
That's when you could.
Yeah. Well, Shea Stadium was great. In the upper deck, in the back row, there was just like a chain link fence. There was no wall, and you could blow weed smoke out the chain link fence, so you wouldn't get.
And
caught.
then it would just loop right back into the arena because the wind would carry it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
But a few feet away, so blame somebody else.
But
that might not have been the worst thing, because most of the seasons they didn't really do that well. So you might as well. Maybe some of the fans that went there with their kids were like, this isn't really bothering me anymore. They're losing 9-0 in the first.
Yeah, when it would be.
I wonder why.
When it would be a bad season, we would just be up. You didn't have to sit in the upper deck. You can just go and put your feet up on the dugout. But we would go up there just to smoke weed and then come back down.
Right. Or sometimes we would just sneak down there and just act like we belong. So if we made it down to like the orange seats, we were like, cool.
Yep.
If I remember the color scheme correctly. The lows. Nobody ever uses that word lows for anything else.
Yeah.
I love it.
It sounds kind of French. Yeah.
All right, Danny, we're going to let you go. We want to play a track off the new, recently released Venomous Concept album. Venomous Concept. I thought I was calling it a concept album. Like I had a blackout there. Venomous Concept is the band. The album is called Kick Me Silly VC3. Do you have a favorite track of the album that we can play for you?
I don't know about a favorite track. I like a lot of the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
But
All your
if
babies.
you want to play a track, well, I'm not going to be conceited and mention a song I wrote. I always rule that out. So we will go with that sort of... No, that's arrogant. Like when people say, name the 10 best thrash albums of 86, and I just have to studiously not mention a record I'm on, or I'll sound like a fucking egomaniac.
Just stop being so humble. Just pick the song that you wrote.
Pick a song brag a little bit.
You had to do this interview. Just go for it, man.
Okay, fuck it. Fair enough then. Then in that case, I think we will go with Leopard Dog, because I'm proud of that one, because I didn't write the lyrics or anything, mind you, but I wrote the music. As an American dude growing up listening to Discharge and UK hardcore or anything, I was really into that D-beat thing. So I wrote a song called Leopard Dog that is very typical UK hardcore, just different speed of D-beats. This is more in the kind of dysphere, kind of kickback, not super fast, more of a in-the-pocket kind of thing. And when we played this song in England, like Birmingham and London, like we did, I paid special close attention just because I'm like, let's see what all these people think of this song I wrote, because I wrote it inspired by this country. And people seemed to dig it a lot, and I was like, oh, look at that, fuck yeah. The little song I wrote in my room here in Rochester, New York is going over big here, in the land where I was inspired to write that song in the first place. So, yeah, sure. We'll play Leopard Dog, man.
Awesome. Dan, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us.
And also,
not a problem.
If you want to read more about Dan, you could pick up Perpetual Conversion, 30 Years and Counting in the Life of Metal Veteran Dan Lilker.
Yep, that's me. And, yeah, I mean, that's a good read if you want to see my perspective on the stuff I've done throughout my career with, a bunch of other people chiming in. I mean, it's got to be the only book that would have both, quotes from Fenriz and my mother. So you try to find another book that has those two people on it, Fenriz and Muriel. And, yeah, that would be a challenge. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot. I'm off to Nocturnal Hellstorm rehearsal to go play some black metal, even though it's a warm spell here, which is disappointing. We'll deal with it. And what's it called? Cool. So,
yeah, thanks a lot, Dan.
Leopard Dog, and everybody out there, have a good evening.
All right, Dan.
Cheers.
Have a good one. All right, that was Dan Lilker, and we're going to play a track off the brand new Venomous Concept record.
You should play a totally different song than he requested.
No, the album
and
is...
I think it's Roman numerals. I don't think it's VC3. It's whatever VC3 in Roman numerals stands for.
But it's the number 3.
No, it's VC and then Roman numerals.
What does VC
3.
stand for?
I don't know.
Could you get him back on the line? Is it stand for Vince Carter? Is he a basketball fan?
No, VC is Venomous Concept. It's the third Venomous Concept.
Oh, so Noah, what did you think that 3 eyes were?
No, I thought it was Roman numerals.
Well, then
then you
3
eyes are Roman. Yeah.
Right, so you would just say 3 then.
Right, but I thought V.
She also
and C
thought the
were
V and the
also.
C were the Roman numerals.
Isn't V5 and C100?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was some like
but you wouldn't do that's 95.
95.3. Their new album, 95.3. It's a call letters. It's a radio station.
Here's the brand new Venomous Concept on 95.3 ING.
All right.
There we go.
To hear more, find the Metal Injection Livecast on iTunes, or you can go to metalinjection.net/livecast.